When the pressure of the US Open reaches boiling point, even the calmest of athletes can find themselves caught in emotional storms that extend far beyond the white lines of the court. This week, Russian player Anna Kalinskaya became the center of such a storm, not because of her tennis alone, but because of a fiery post-match confrontation that has left fans and analysts divided over where the line lies between sportsmanship, culture, and personal rivalry. The incident unfolded during a doubles clash where Kalinskaya teamed up with Romanian veteran Sorana Cîrstea to face the young American pairing of McCartney-Kessler and Peyton Stearns. The match itself was already a roller coaster. Despite Kalinskaya and Cîrstea storming to a commanding 5-1 lead in the opening set, the Americans refused to fold. They clawed their way back, stealing the set in dramatic fashion. The second followed a similar pattern, and before long, the scoreboard read 7-5, 6-4 in favor of the home favorites, but if anyone thought the drama ended with match point, they were mistaken. As the players met at the net for the customary handshake, Kalinskaya lingered. Her face carried visible frustration as she turned to Stearns with a pointed remark, "Respect." According to Russian outlet Championat, Kalinskaya accused the Americans of poor etiquette, claiming they had failed to acknowledge net cord winners, shots that clip the top of the net and dribble over, often leaving opponents helpless. "I expected a little respect," she reportedly said. "I haven't seen you apologize even once." It may seem like a small detail to casual fans, but within the culture of doubles tennis, such moments have long been a gray area. Some players instinctively raise a hand or murmur, "sorry," when fortune gifts them a net cord winner. Others treat it as just another bounce of the ball. Online, the debate was immediate. Supporters of the Americans argued that apologies are optional, not required, and that Kalinskaya was being overly sensitive. One tennis fan even joked, "She's mad at McCartney and Peyton for not apologizing, but they did, she just wasn't paying attention." If that was the end of it, the story might have faded into the background of an already drama-filled US Open. But the tension escalated off-court. Not long after the match, Peyton Stearns posted a celebratory story on Instagram, highlighting the match point error that sealed the win, a forehand mistake from Kalinskaya. To make matters worse, former Ohio State player Danielle Wolfe amplified the moment with a gleeful post mocking the error. Stearns later attempted to soften the blow by covering her post with 3 American flag emojis, but by then, the damage was done. Instead of cooling the drama, the move deepened the rift between American supporters and Kalinskaya's fans, who saw the post as disrespectful gloating. For those following Kalinskaya's career, her frustration with the American crowd and players was not entirely surprising. Earlier this summer, at the Cincinnati Open, she clashed with local fans during a tense match, complaining to the umpire about their noisy cheering. At one point, she even suggested some of them might be drunk, requesting security to step in. The umpire dismissed her concerns, assuring her the crowd was simply showing support for both competitors. The scene highlighted the cultural gap in expectations. What might feel like enthusiastic encouragement to an American crowd can sometimes appear rowdy or unsportsmanlike to an international player, and this is where the debate gets more complex. The US Open has always been more than just tennis. It's a cultural crossroads where personalities, national pride, and generational tensions collide under the brightest lights. Just days before Kalinskaya's clash, another controversy was making headlines. Latvian star Jelena Ostapenko sparked outrage when she labeled American fan favorite Taylor Townsend uneducated and classless after beating her. The harsh words drew widespread criticism. Townsend, however, turned her setback into something greater. After upsetting 5th seed Mira Andreeva in her next match, Townsend stood tall in Arthur Ashe Stadium and declared, "It's bigger than me. It's about representation and being bold." Her words transformed her into a symbol of resilience, sparking a wave of support across social media. Even Iga Swiatek, the world number 2, wasn't spared from the cultural minefield. In one press conference, a reporter asked whether she'd ever consider wearing beads in her hair like the Williams sisters once did, a question steeped in cultural significance, given the beads' ties to African heritage. Swiatek, visibly taken aback, responded sharply, "What kind of question is that? Excuse me?" Her discomfort raised fresh debate. Was this an innocent question about fashion, or did it veer into cultural appropriation territory? Against this backdrop, Kalinskaya's frustrations don't stand in isolation. They highlight a bigger theme of this year's US Open, the intersection of sport and identity. Players are no longer just athletes, they're cultural figures whose every move is amplified and scrutinized. Whether it's an Instagram story, a sideline outburst, or even a haircut, everything becomes part of the conversation. Adding another layer to Kalinskaya's narrative is her personal life, which has often been under the spotlight. She was once linked to Australian maverick Nick Kyrgios, a player notorious for his fiery antics and outspoken personality. More recently, she dated world number 1 Jannik Sinner, and their very public displays of affection, like kissing on court after victories, once made them a fan-favorite couple. But by July, their romance had ended, leaving tabloids buzzing. For some, these glimpses into her private life only amplify the intrigue surrounding her public persona. As Kalinskaya prepares for her next high-stakes match, the story surrounding her is no longer just about tennis. It has become a prism reflecting deeper issues, cultural clashes, generational divides, and the blurred lines between personal expression and professional decorum. In a world where every reaction is recorded, dissected, and shared across social platforms, the smallest gestures, like an unacknowledged net chord, can spark heated debates about respect and sportsmanship. So where does this leave us? Should players be expected to apologize for net chord winners as a matter of etiquette, or is Kalinskaya overreacting to a normal part of the game? Is Stearns guilty of rubbing salt in the wound, or was her Instagram post simply a young athlete's way of celebrating a hard-fought victory? Perhaps the bigger question is whether we as fans place impossible expectations on athletes to uphold not just the rules of tennis, but also unwritten codes of culture and behavior. In today's hyper-connected sports world, fame comes with the price of constant scrutiny, where one misunderstood gesture can ignite global debate, and maybe that's what makes the US Open so uniquely captivating. It's not just the power serves, blistering rallies, or dramatic tiebreaks that draw millions to watch. It's the human drama, the personalities clashing, cultures colliding, and the raw emotions spilling over, that makes this tournament as much about stories as it is about scores. What do you think? Should opponents acknowledge every lucky break, or is that just another outdated tradition? Do athletes owe each other constant gestures of respect, or is winning the only language that truly matters in professional sport? One thing is certain, this conversation is far from over.